Well, we do receive voicemails here at the core. In fact, you can call us 24 hours a day and leave your question on our voicemail system. Here's a voicemail from one of our listeners named Scott.
There is a sign in a yard by our house that says, "We depend on God and God depends on us." And it's made me think, how does God depend on us? I don't really like the way the wording is phrased, and I was wondering what you thought of it. Thank you.
Yeah, what an interesting sign. I'd be curious. I mean, I'd like to get to know those neighbors and ask them about that sign in particular. I would say we depend on God absolutely for everything. For the very breath that we have in our lungs, it's only the mercy of God, the grace of God. Hebrews chapter 1 says that God upholds all things by the word of his power. In God's providence, he's holding the universe together. And so we absolutely, for our physical existence, for our spiritual life, for our salvation, depend upon the Lord 100%. There's this doctrine, the doctrine of aseity. You probably have never heard of this doctrine, but it really is a significant doctrine in terms of our understanding of what's called theology proper, who God is. And basically what it says is this: God is the self-existent one. Remember what he says to Moses, "I am who I am." He doesn't depend on anything or anyone. He doesn't depend on food or air like we do. He's self-existent. He has life in himself. And so I think people, we like to think, well, God depends on me for certain things. But no, he doesn't. Now that might make you think like, well, boy, that doesn't make me feel so good. But here's what's so wonderful about this. Because God doesn't need us for anything, because he doesn't need me or you for anything, one, we are given the privilege of serving the Lord in the preaching of the gospel, in ministering to the saints and caring for the people around us. But here's the other thing. God's love for you is totally free. He doesn't love you because he needs you. God didn't have a man-shaped hole in his heart, if you will, and so he decided to create humanity, and that's why he did it, because he was feeling lonely. No, he's perfect. He's self-existent. He has everything he needs, and yet out of the abundance of his love, he created us. And when we had turned away from him in sin, he sent his son into the world to redeem us. And so what this highlights is the freedom of God's love. The fact that he loves not as a needy person, if you will, but he loves freely. He loves us because he does. It's who he is. And so no, God does not depend upon us. We depend upon him. And that's actually really good news, because it reveals to us that his love for us is free. He's not under constraint or obligation.